Today, 20th June, Archangel Michael warns, the soul from your past is trying to communicate. You must open this now to hear their message. On this day, June 20th, the heavens stretch wide and time bends toward divine alignment. The earth is heavy for reason. The light touches differently. The winds whisper with memory, and somewhere in the stillness between heartbeats, a voice from another realm presses inward. This is not merely another day on the calendar. No, child of light. This is a marked hour, a divinely coded moment when the veil thins and what was lost begins to stir again. Archangel Michael speaks now because heaven has chosen this specific day to release this message. Heaven moves with intention, and today, precisely at 4:44, a sacred alignment took place. Not random, not superstition, not coincidence. This number has echoed in your spirit because the divine is trying to gain your attention. 4:44 is the sound of heavenly footsteps approaching your timeline. It is the symbol of protection, foundation, and revelation. It is the alarm of the spirit realm. And now it rings loudly for you. Someone long gone is still speaking. Their lips may be sealed in the earth or silenced by time, but their spirit still seeks you. There's a stirring in your atmosphere. You felt it. You've dismissed it. But it keeps coming back. A shadow in a dream. A memory out of nowhere. A name that won't rest. What you are experiencing is not your imagination. It's your intuition tuned to heaven's frequency. You are not reading this by mistake. This message has been soul assigned. It carries your frequency. It travels through layers of light to reach you because something from your past refuses to remain silent. This is not a haunting. This is a calling. The past is not trying to trap you. It's trying to complete you. But only if you pause. Only if you quiet the noise of distraction. Only if you listen, not with ears but with spirit. Be still. Stillness is the doorway. When the soul gets quiet, the truth begins to echo. When the mind rests, revelation rushes in. The Spirit of the Lord speaks in whispers, not shouts. The soul calling to you won't thunder in, but it will stir gently, almost imperceptibly. You must create space. You must set aside doubt. You must open your inner ear. Heaven's messengers are subtle, but they never miss. And Archangel Michael's timing is never wrong. You were led here to hear something your soul already knew was coming. You were drawn not by curiosity, but by alignment. The skies have aligned. The hour is ripe. The whisper has arrived. The message is moving. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Archangel Michael interrupts your scroll. Yes, stop. Pause. Look again. This is not the next video. This is not a passing reel. This is not more digital noise. This is a holy interception. Archangel Michael interrupts your scroll today because you are dangerously close to missing a sacred message. A message echoing from beyond the veil of time. It's a voice heaven has permitted to rise one more time for you. And this interruption is not rude. It is merciful. Because without it, you would continue moving, continue scrolling, continue mumming that nudges side you. And yet heaven, in its divine mercy and relentless love, breaks protocol to enter your timeline now. Michael, the warring archangel of light and truth, stands at the threshold between realms to announce. Within hours, their voice fades again. Let that sink into your spirit. You have only hours. Not days. Not weeks. Not next month. Hours. Their voice, the one trying to reach you, the one you've half heard in dreams, the one you've felt in sudden memories or heart pulls, that voice has been permitted one more echo. But if you miss this moment, if you ignore this prompting, the window closes, and with it, the bridge between two souls collapses again. This message is not for everyone. Heaven is clear. This word is for a select few, chosen by their spiritual sensitivity and awakened timing. If you are reading this, then your name is on the scroll. Your spirit has been activated. Your heart has been marked for understanding. Many will glance at this and feel nothing. But if you feel your chest tightening, if your breath slows, if you sense something ancient stirring, then you are the one this message hath been carved for. This moment, right here, is not entertainment. It is an encounter. Heaven is trying to break through your routine, your doubt, your exhaustion, your emotional noise. Heaven is trying to reach you, but it cannot force entry. It only knocks. And the knock today comes with spiritual urgency. They are speaking. Will you answer? Listen closely. This is not imagination. This is not nostalgia. This is not a coincidence or an emotional glitch. This is divine orchestration. And heaven whispers this with unshakable precision. Ignoring this call silences what matters most. If you turn away from this moment, something holy will be lost. A message sealed in light, carried across realms bearing your name, will dissolve. Not in punishment, but in divine timing. Heaven gives us moments, but not all moments return. Them come once. This is one of those moments. Do you hear it yet? You feel the weight of it yet? You are not just hearing the past. You are hearing the echo of unfinished healing. You are hearing the whisper of something sacred, something left undone, something spiritually significant that God is now revisiting, not to hurt you, but to heal you and elevate you. There's a soul from your past, one who has tried again and again to find a way into your waking world. Their dreams have brushed yours. Their thoughts have slipped into your heart when you least expected it. The Father is allowing one more connection, one more time for the veil to part, for a whisper to be heard, for divine closure or revelation to be made. But you must be listening. You must be spiritually open. You must not dismiss this. Archangel Michael now commands the atmosphere around you. The angels of memory and revelation are present. The realm of light is leaning in. Your soul is being summoned into divine hearing. So speak aloud right now, if you feel it. I am listening. I am ready. I receive this divine encounter. Because the voice calling you is not just from someone gone. It's from someone tied to your journey, someone heaven saw fit to use once more. Their message will matter for what comes next in your life. Don't delay. Don't minimize. Don't excuse it away. Their voice fades again soon. But right now, right here, it is alive. Heaven waits for your response. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. Why do you keep thinking of them today? Why, on this day, of all days, does their memory walk back into your heart like a wind slipping through a door you didn't even know was open? Why does your chest ache with a name you haven't spoken in years? Why does their face flash behind your eyes when you lie still at night, or when the sky turns the color of a memory? Listen closely. This is not emotional coincidence. This is spiritual orchestration. Today, the 20th of June, the divine has activated a frequency that few can hear, but you, yes, you have felt the pull. You've whispered, why am I thinking of them again? You've tried to dismiss it. You've tried to explain it away. But the answer is simple, because they're thinking of you too. They have tried to reach you in dreams. They have spoken into the veil. You may have forgotten the sound of their voice, but they have not forgotten the echo of yours. And now, by divine permission, their spirit moves through the layers of time to knock on your soul's door once more. The realm of the unseen is trembling because a message long buried is rising again, and it carries the weight of something unfinished. Have you noticed it? Their name, it keeps surfacing. In conversations, in random posts, in a passing song, in a stranger's laughter that sounds like them, in a scent that transports you back to a room you thought you'd forgotten. This is no accident. This is divine disruption. Heaven is stirring what was sealed, and your spirit is sensitive enough to feel the shift. And here is what they will not tell you. Others know. Others around you, friends, family, spiritual watchers, they've seen the shift too. But they are silent. Why? Because this message wasn't given to them. It was given to you. They see the patterns but don't speak of them. They hear the name but change the subject. Because the weight of this soul's presence, it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to you. But make no mistake, you are not imagining this. This is not just memory. This is visitation. Their soul has wandered back because heaven has permitted one more attempt, one more sacred contact, one more opportunity to either release, restore, or realign. But only if you open. Only if you allow the mystery to finish what it started. You see, your soul and theirs once shared something that time cannot erase. A lesson, a journey, a spiritual contract, a moment that echoed louder than most. And though the natural world has moved on, the spirit realm never forgets divine assignments. There are still ripples from your connection, ripples that the enemy has tried to bury, distract, distort. But today, heaven reactivates them. Because something buried is not yet done. And you felt that. That pit in your stomach. That strange pressure on your chest. That flash of weeping with no cause. That feeling like someone is beside you in the room when no one is there. That is them. And today, they are closer than ever. There are thoughts inside you that have no current source. Emotional waves with no modern root. This is because the past is trying to speak. And it is not doing so to trap you. It is doing so to liberate you. But you must be brave enough to ask, what are they trying to say? What have I ignored? What do I still need to hear? Their energy, their presence, their ache, it's real. They visited you in dreams before, but your waking mind dismissed it. Heaven says today, do not dismiss the dream. Do not silence the symbol. Do not reject the reminder. For this moment, right now, is about more than them. It's about you. Your closure. Your release. Your next chapter. And yes, there will be a voice in your head whispering that it's nonsense. That it's all in your mind. But that is not your soul speaking. That is fear. That is logic attempting to drown out the divine. And yet Archangel Michael stands with sword in hand declaring, their message is sacred. And it is for you alone. You are not being haunted. You are being honored. You are not cursed with memory. You are blessed with sensitivity. You are not broken. You are chosen. What you are feeling today is the breath of the past returning, not to wound you again, but to wash you clean. But the question remains, will you answer? Will you pause long enough to hear? Will you sit in the discomfort long enough to receive? Because your soul remembers what your mind has tried to forget. and their soul, wherever it resides, still carries the vibration of your name. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more exclusive spiritual guidance, powerful insight, and real-time prophetic messages that meet you where you are. Type "I am listening" in the comments if this message speaks to your soul. Blessing code 1010 is now surrounding your journey. There is a spiritual reason why they have returned to your atmosphere. There is a divine strategy behind the whispers you feel in your soul today. This is not merely emotional residue. This is not leftover pain. This is unfinished spiritual business, and heaven has chosen this exact moment to revisit what was paused, not completed. You are not crazy. You are not confused. You are being spiritually re-engaged with a soul that once walked beside you, not for nostalgia, but for resolution and revelation. The timing is divine. The memory is sacred. The emotion is a signal. Heaven has pulled back the curtain to allow this soul, this one, specific soul, to whisper again. To try one final time to complete what was left undone. This moment was not born of longing, it was born of permission. The Most High has allowed the past to speak, not to break you again, but to break the silence that has kept you emotionally suspended and spiritually uncertain. For many, closure is a concept. But for the chosen, closure is a divine right, and today, your soul is standing at the altar of that very thing. There is a reason you feel suspended between emotions you thought were long healed. There is a reason this person has circled back in your thoughts, in your energy, in your dreams. It is because heaven knows that this connection still carries a spiritual charge, and it cannot be dismissed as chance or chemistry. It was part of your journey. It was part of your becoming. And what was never fully concluded now stands again before the courts of life for final reckoning. This soul is not reaching toward you to reignite romance, restore fantasy, or stir your emotional vulnerability. No. They are being drawn by something holier, something deeper, a divine obligation of completion. There is an assignment between you that was never fulfilled. A spiritual contract still bearing unspoken words. And heaven, in its unmatched mercy, has chosen to reopen this file because something tied to your future still hinges on the closure or release of this connection. Understand this. Not every soul you've loved was meant to stay, but some were meant to mark. Some were brought into your life to activate the parts of you that couldn't rise until you saw yourself through their reflection. Some came to break you open, not to destroy, but to pour in light. And some were assignments wrapped in emotion, sacred in their entrance, but temporary by design. You and this soul, yes, you both, have been spiritually monitored. Your interactions, your severance, your silence, and even your wandering. Heaven has seen it all. The angels who walk with you recorded it all. Nothing you felt has gone unseen. And now, the divine is placing both of your names again into alignment, not to revive the past, but to test the heart. Because this is a divine test. The memory feels familiar. The timing feels odd. The sense of déjà vu is not just nostalgia, it is divine surveillance. You are being watched. Not by people, not by the enemy, but by the realm of spirit itself, to see what you will do with this invitation. Will you open? Will you react emotionally? Will you retreat into fear or press into discernment? The Most High is watching to see if your heart has healed or hardened. He is watching to see if you will trust your spirit more than your senses. Because this message is not about reconnection in the earthly sense. It is about completion in the spiritual sense. You are being invited to rise above human instinct and engage with heaven's eyes. Yes, there is conflict. There is tension. But the tension is not evil. It is divine friction, created to birth new clarity. What you feel is the pressure of heaven's hands guiding you toward wholeness. But first, the past must finish speaking. And what of them? What of the one you keep thinking of? They too have been stirred. Their soul has been uneasy. Their dreams have been strange. They may not have your language, your clarity, or your discernment, but something in them knows that a holy reckoning is near. They are being moved toward truth, just as you are. And whether they are aware of it or not, their soul is negotiating with yours in the spirit even now. This is not a one-way call. This is not about you chasing answers or making peace. This is about heaven allowing the spiritual current between you to rise one last time, not for harm, but for healing. And not just for you, but for generations after you. Because hear this clearly, unfinished spiritual business doesn't just follow you, it follows your bloodline. If this is not resolved, it will echo through your relationships, your children, your legacy. But if it is received with maturity, discernment, and obedience, it can break generational silence, reverse curses, and bring closure so deep that heaven marks it sealed. There is more at stake than your heart. There is a ripple effect in motion. The time is now. The test is divine. And the watcher of your soul, Archangel Michael, is standing between realms to make sure you pass what once overwhelmed you. You are not going back. You are being called forward. But part of going forward means facing what was left undone, spirit to spirit. So pause. Breathe. Ask God to give you eyes to see beyond the surface. Ask Him to reveal what is real and what is residue. Because the war is not around you, it is within. And Michael has declared, you will win this war not by fighting, but by listening. Type I am ready for closure in the comments if this message resonates. Blessing code 777 is now unfolding around you. They will try again tonight, just once. Yes, the soul that has been circling your atmosphere, whispering through dreams, sending flashes through memory, stirring emotions you cannot explain, that soul has been given one final chance, one final window to reach you. Not through coincidence, not through human contact, but through divine frequency. And that window opens tonight. But only for a moment. Heaven has a calendar. The spirit realm has timelines. There are divine appointments that cannot be delayed or rescheduled. And this, tonight, is one of them. The hour is already approaching. Your spirit feels it. The signs have increased. The era has changed. And though your natural senses may still hesitate, your inner man knows this moment is different. You must hear this clearly. Within the next 72 hours, their voice will fall silent again, possibly for good. That's not a threat. It's a truth. Heaven is merciful, but it is also just. And just as mercy gives space for healing, justice draws lines around time. If you miss this sacred window, if you ignore the promptings, if you dismiss the dreams, if you avoid the nudge, you will forfeit the message that was designed to alter something in you forever. They've tried before, but heaven had not released permission. The gate was not opened. The veil was still heavy. But now, on this appointed day, something has shifted. Heaven has lifted the curtain. The Spirit has authorized the visitation. The angelic realm is on high alert, and your name is being whispered on lips you thought had long since forgotten you. But hear this warning from Archangel Michael with utmost seriousness. Delay will cost you more than you realize. Do not treat this like another emotional episode. Do not numb it with distraction. Do not bury the urgency under logic or denial. Because the longer you wait, the softer the voice becomes. And soon, all you'll be left with is silence and sorrow. There is a sadness that forms when a divine moment is missed, a grief that cannot be explained in words, only felt in the aching emptiness of a what-if that can never be answered. Your soul is weary. They have tried to find peace, but it eludes them, because a portion of that peace lies with you, and yours with them. This is not about codependency. This is about unfinished alignment. Your message carries the final stroke to a portrait you've been painting in your spirit for years. Your voice holds the sentence that brings closure to a long-forgotten paragraph in your life story. But be warned, their voice is not the only one that will try to reach you tonight. When the spirit world opens, so does the realm of counterfeit. The enemy will attempt to mimic the feeling. He will plant distractions. He will send emotional decrease. He will try to route your discernment through confusion. Why? Because he knows that if you hear this message, if you receive it, you will shift. You will break free. You will activate. Archangel Michael declares with fire in his voice, be vigilant. The enemy is crafty, but heaven is louder. The right message brings peace. The counterfeit brings chaos. The real visitation will bring clarity, closure, and calm, not torment. You must prepare your heart and your environment. Tonight is not for Netflix and noise. Tonight is not for parties or pointless conversation. The night is sacred. Guard your space. Guard your gates. Turn down the volume of the world so that the whisper of the Spirit can be heard. There is sorrow tied to this delay, a weight that heaven wants to lift, but it cannot if you keep turning your face away. You may not fully understand why this is happening now. You may not know exactly what the message is. But what you do know is this: something in your soul is being called to attention. And to ignore it is to remain chained to something God is trying to release. Emotional storms are on the horizon. Not because you've done something wrong, but because something right is trying to break through. And when truth approaches, it disturbs every lie that has made itself comfortable in your spirit. That emotional unease you feel, it's not a warning to avoid. It's a signal to lean in. The Holy Spirit is quickening you now. The angels are already in position. Heaven is waiting for your response. Do not miss this. Do not turn away. Do not scroll past this and forget. Set the atmosphere. Make room in your spirit. Open your journal. Prepare the oil. Pray the prayer. Listen with your inner ear. The message will not come with fireworks. It will come like breath on the back of your neck, like a thought you didn't think, like a sentence that finishes in your soul without your mouth moving. And when it does, receive it. Receive it fully. Say it aloud now if you feel the weight. Lord, I am ready to hear. I will not miss this moment. Heaven honors the voice that is willing. And tonight, it is your willingness that may determine what is unlocked in the coming days. I will not miss my moment in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Lesson code 000 is now unlocking over your atmosphere. Shall I continue with section VI? Protective guidance. Certainly. Now we step into the shield of divine protection. The enemy is lurking, but heaven is ahead. This is section VI. Protective guidance. Listen with spiritual precision. Hear the voice of Archangel Michael now, not as a whisper, but as a command. A divine caution echoing through the atmosphere. Do not reach out to the wrong one. This moment is not simply about a message coming through. It is also a battlefield of discernment. As your spiritual senses awaken, and as your heart opens, there is an immediate risk. Your emotion will want to lead, but emotion must bow to discernment. Because not every voice that calls to you comes from light. There is a true voice. There is a real soul. There is a message soaked in purpose, anointed by the Most High. But there are also imitations, imposters, distractions dressed in familiarity. There is a counterfeit waiting to reroute your clarity. And the enemy, being subtle and cunning, will not come with horns. They will come glow in comfort. He will echo old phrases. He will mimic the way that person once moved in your life. He will disguise himself in memories that once made you feel safe. But child of light, you must not act emotionally. You must not respond impulsively. Archangel Michael stands over you today, his sword drawn in the realm of spirit, declaring over your soul, be still, discern before reacting. Be still, do not move until the Holy Spirit confirms. Be still, heaven is speaking, and truth never shouts. The true soul that carries this divine message, they do not come to stir chaos or reignite wounds. They come to complete what was holy but interrupted. But if you chase this encounter in the flesh, you risk stepping into a false door. And once you walk through a false door, you open yourself to spiritual contamination, confusion, and delay. This is why silence is sacred. This is why stillness is spiritual warfare. Because the louder the world gets, the more the whisper of God becomes hidden. You are being protected right now. Even now, angels are forming a hedge around your spirit, keeping out false assignments and soul ties that no longer carry divine permission. Some of the people you've been tempted to reach out to lately, that's not your spirit. It's a spiritual trap. Not all that glitters is gold. Not every reconnection is redemption. Some are runs that heaven never approved, and some of them were only meant to teach you, not remain with you. This is why you must lean into discernment like never before. You are not without defense. The Lord has not left you exposed. In fact, He has issued a divine order to protect you while you wait, while you listen, while you posture yourself for what heaven wants to reveal. This is not the time to explain yourself. This is not the hour to chase validation. This is the season to guard your gates. What are your gates? Your eyes, your ears, your heart, your imagination. What you watch, what you entertain, what you allow to dwell in your thoughts, it matters now more than ever. The door is cracked open, yes. But that door must only swing for heaven, not for confusion, not for noise, not for the counterfeit that mimics what once comforted you. Michael now offers a word of assurance. Heaven shields those who choose stillness. You do not have to figure it out. You do not have to go searching. The real message, the real soul, the real encounter, it will come to you. It will come with peace. It will come with clarity. It will come without pressure. And most of all, it will come with confirmation in your spirit, not confusion in your emotions. If it brings torment, it's not from God. If it ignites old habits, it's not the assignment. If it pressures you into impulsive response, it is not from the Spirit. Remember this truth. The soul that brings you peace will never need to manipulate your emotion. And yet, there is an enemy who studies your weaknesses. He knows what used to make your heart melt. He knows the names that still make your stomach flutter. But those names may no longer carry heaven's assignment. That's why stillness is your safest shield. That's why discernment is your weapon. That's why prayer is your anchor. Pray this now with conviction. Guard my gates, O Lord. Let not a false voice enter my atmosphere. Place your angels around me. Block the counterfeit. Silence the distraction. Let only what is sent by you reach me. As you pray, the Spirit responds. Heaven listens. And Michael, the guardian of spiritual clarity, sharpens his sword and stations himself at the threshold of your soul. There is a sacred calm available to you right now, but only if you resist the urge to run ahead of revelation. The enemy wants you to react so he can mislead you. But heaven wants you to wait so you can be realigned. The true message will bring not just emotional release, but spiritual renewal. It will bring instruction. It will bring freedom. It will bring truth that helps you step into the next version of you. Be wise. Be patient. Be anchored. This is a holy test of restraint. And those who pass this test will not only receive the message, they will receive the next mantle. Do not open the door to just anyone. The one that carries your divine message already knows where to find you, because heaven is guiding them. Your job is not to chase. Your job is to prepare. Light your candle. Clean your atmosphere. Pray your protective prayers. Stay in position. For what is truly meant for you is not running, it is aligning. You are covered. You are surrounded. You are protected. Type I am shielded in the comments if you are ready for clarity. Blessing code 1313 is circling your spirit with divine protection. You are not the same person they once knew. Let the truth settle into your chest like holy thunder. Say it aloud, if you must. You are not the same person they remember. The one who cried silently in the night. The one who begged God for signs but doubted herself after. The one who carried the weight of every mistake like a coat made of shame. That version of you is gone. Heaven knows it. The angels recognize it. And now, the soul trying to reach you senses it too. Something in the spiritual realm has shifted. And the person you once were has made room for the warrior you are now becoming. What you have endured has not only transformed you, it has armored you. Your growth is not emotional detachment, it is spiritual maturation. You are no longer living on emotional reflex. You are walking in revelation. The light that now surrounds you is not artificial confidence. It is divine fire that comes only through trial, pressure, and relentless surrender to God's refining process. The soul that once left you, betrayed you, forgot you, or was simply unable to handle the depth of your spirit. They do not recognize you anymore. Not because you've hidden, but because you've risen. The vibrations of who you are now are higher, brighter, stronger. You no longer live in the frequency of confusion or approval seeking. You now walk in divine authority, and that is what draws them back, not to your weakness, but to your awakening. And this is what you must realize. Your transformation is the magnet. Your breakthrough is the signal. What has drawn this soul to reach for you again is not regret. It is recognition. In the spirit realm, your elevation sends out waves. Your healing emits a sound. And those who were once connected to you feel the shockwave of your growth, even if they cannot explain it. They feel the power in your presence now. The old version of you tolerated chaos. The new version of you cultivates peace. The old version needed validation. The new version knows they are chosen. You see, heaven didn't just restore you. Heaven reintroduced you. There is no shame in who you were. That version of you was necessary for this rising. But make no mistake, your past no longer has the power to trap you. You're not chained to their memory. You're not stuck in their shadow. And when they come back, whether in vision, in prayer, in a spiritual message, or even a physical encounter, they are not returning to reclaim you. They are returning because your light now illuminates what they could not see before. But this is not a call to re-entangle. This is a call to stand. Stand in your clarity. Stand in your strength. Stand in the awareness that you carry something holy now, something weighty, something refined. And that presence will shake them. That light will expose what has been hidden. And whether they are coming for closure, clarity, or confession, you must remain rooted in the understanding that you are no longer easily moved. You were once afraid of their silence. Now you honor your own. You were once afraid of being misunderstood. Now you understand yourself. You were once waiting for someone to save you. But heaven already did. What you carry now, this light, this discernment, this divine awareness, it is not for sale. It is not for compromise. It is not for nostalgia. It is for kingdom purpose. The enemy will try to convince you that your strength is coldness. But hear me, your strength is sacred. Your clarity is protection. Your boundaries are gates of righteousness. They are not walls, they are invitations to the worthy. So when the voice comes again, when their spirit brushes past yours, don't shrink back. Don't regress. Don't wonder if you should be smaller to make them more comfortable. Stand tall in the full weight of who you've become. Because who you are now is the exact reason they were permitted to find you again. Your healing is magnetic. Your light is attractive. Your wholeness is prophetic. And if fear begins to whisper, remind yourself, I don't fear the past, because I've outgrown its grip. Let the enemy see that your scars have become your sermon. Let heaven see that you have passed the tests that once brought you to tears. You are not reaching for closure. You are receiving confirmation. You are not begging for answers. You are walking in wisdom. And you do not need anyone to validate what heaven has already declared. You carry light now, and they see it clearly. Your eyes may not have seen it before. Their spirit may have resisted it then. But now, they feel it like a pull in their chest. And whether they understand it or not, your growth has called something forward in them. What you have survived has given heaven permission to use your life as a mirror, and what they see in you will either convict or awaken. You are not arrogant. You are anointed. You are not distant. You are divinely guarded. You are not too much. You are finally enough in the eyes of heaven. To walk boldly. Speak only when the Spirit gives utterance. Move only when the Lord prompts. Do not return to the old version of yourself to accommodate someone who left before your wings grew. Because you've been transformed. You've been baptized by fire. And now, you are the light they feel even in the dark. Type I am empowered in the comments if you are walking in your new strength. Blessing code 1441 is now igniting divine fire within you. The soul carries your next clue. Let that sentence rest on your spirit. Let it echo. Let it penetrate beyond intellect and into revelation. You've been praying for answers. You've been asking for signs. You've been wondering what's next, where to go, how to unlock the part of your destiny that still feels like it's wrapped in fog. And heaven now declares, the soul that has resurfaced is carrying a key you didn't even know was missing. They are not your answer, but they are carrying a piece of your puzzle. They are not your salvation, but they have information, a phrase, a moment, a message that unlocks something ancient and divine that's been waiting in the shadows of your spirit. This is not about rekindling a broken past. It's about retrieving a buried promise. You see, this person was never just a relationship, never just a chapter, never just a passing event. No, they were part of your divine assignment. The pain, the separation, the memories, they were all seeds in a field God was planting long before you ever understood your calling. And though their presence in your life may have come to an end, their purpose in your journey did not. Because some souls are not meant to stay, but they are meant to deliver something before they leave. And now, through divine alignment, not coincidence, they have been brought to your awareness again. Why? Because heaven is orchestrating a reconnection, not to bind you, but to bless you, to reveal, to restore, to release. This is not about rekindling a bond. This is about fulfilling a covenant, a spiritual contract that was signed before you even stepped into this life. And heaven has waited for the day your maturity, your healing, your light would be strong enough to receive what they are bringing, not emotionally, but prophetically. This reconnection, whether it is through a dream, a supernatural sign, a divine nudge, or an unexpected contact, is sacred. It is not by chance. It is not random. It is divinely coded into your current moment of alignment. Everything in your life has been pressing toward this shift. Every battle, every silence, every heartbreak, every breakthrough, it has all been preparing your soul for this window. And now, that window is open. Your message unlocks an old promise. Yes, there is something God spoke over your life long ago. Perhaps you don't remember it consciously. Perhaps it came to you in a dream as a child. Perhaps it was whispered through the lips of a prophet years ago, and you dismissed it as too big, too impossible, too far away. But heaven never forgot. And now, the presence of this soul, the return of their frequency into your atmosphere, is a spiritual signal that what was once delayed is now being reactivated. They are not the blessing, but their voice carries part of the blueprint. Their words, their energy, even their regret, it carries spiritual information. And you, chosen one, must be still enough to receive it. Not reactively, not romantically, but prophetically. The eyes of your spirit must be sharper than ever before, because hidden inside this interaction is your next instruction. And heaven whispers this to you now with great tenderness and great urgency. We saw your pain. We recorded your cry. We did not ignore your loss. Every tear, every unanswered question, every silent why that slipped from your lips into the night. Heaven archived them. And now, in response, not as a reward, but as a divine unveiling, you are receiving a piece of understanding that will bring meaning to the suffering. You are not being asked to revisit the past. You are being invited to retrieve the promise within it. And yes, this will require maturity. This will require stillness. This will require discernment like never before. Because emotion will tempt you to filter this through old wounds. But your spirit knows. This is not the same season. You are not the same vessel. You must look beyond the human and see the holy. This is a prophetic delivery. And what you do with this message will echo through the rest of your calling. If you receive it rightly, it will catapult you forward. If you dismiss it, you may remain in delay. And yes, it may feel strange. It may feel awkward. You may question the timing. You may question your sanity. But don't. Because the Spirit of the living God is confirming this even as you hear these words. You waited. You suffered. You obeyed. And now, You are being entrusted with a revelation tied to your calling. This is a holy assignment, not a personal indulgence. This is not about missing someone. This is about heaven delivering a message through a vessel that once failed you, or perhaps once walked away from you. And that, in itself, is divine irony, because God will often use the very person you never expected to hold the next piece of your prophecy. So breathe. Be still. Stay open. You don't need to chase it. It's already finding you. Just align. Just be ready. Just posture your soul to receive without clinging. Heaven is intentional. Heaven is wise. Heaven wastes nothing. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more prophetic messages, exclusive spiritual guidance, and insight time to your divine journey. Type "I receive the clue" in the comments if this message confirms your spirit. Blessing code 2121 is now opening divine revelation over your life. Your yes today breaks generational silence. There is something ancient wrapped inside your obedience. Something sacred hidden inside your surrender. You thought you were just listening to another message, another voice from heaven, another ripple from the realm of spirit. But no. This is the moment where legacy shifts. This is the hinge upon which generations turn. And your yes, your simple agreement, your whispered surrender, your willingness to say, "I receive divine clarity now," it is altering spiritual timelines that have been dormant for decades, even centuries. You don't need to feel goosebumps. You don't need lightning in the sky. What's happening now is deeper than feeling. It's activation. The kind that happens in the realm of spirit before it ever manifests in the realm of time. And heaven is watching, not to see if you're qualified, not to see if you're perfect, but to see if you are willing. Because willingness is the soil where prophetic destiny is planted. You must understand something. This message did not find you. It was always assigned to you. And your spirit, whether consciously or unconsciously, has been preparing for this. That stirring you've been feeling lately. That holy unrest. That sense that something is about to break, that something is shifting, that something just beneath the surface is waiting to rise. It is not coincidence. It is not anxiety. It is the vibration of your next dimension calling you forward. And now the heavens declare, speak aloud, "I receive divine clarity now." Speak it. Not quietly in your head, but boldly out of your mouth. Because something happens when sound leaves your lips. It reverberates into the spirit realm. It awakens angels. It disrupts principalities. It signals to heaven that you're not just thinking about alignment. You are stepping into it. And your words, when spoken in agreement with heaven, carry the authority to open doors no man can shut. This is the moment when the spiritual becomes physical. This is where journaling becomes instruction. This is where still prayer becomes power. This is where obedience becomes acceleration. You've cried long enough. You've questioned long enough. You've wandered in spiritual delay long enough. And now heaven is saying, write the vision again. Speak the vision again. Believe again. Woo again. What happens next will not be based on your emotion. It will be based on your alignment. That's why the enemy has fought you so hard in this season. That's why distractions have increased. That's why the noise has become unbearable at times. Because Satan knows that once you truly align with the frequency of heaven, your life will no longer move in cycles, but in forward motion. And right now, in this holy space, something ancient and eternal is being reawakened inside of you. A part of you that heaven has been waiting to fully activate. It's not new. It's just been buried beneath disappointment, delay, heartbreak, and fear. But now, the veil is lifting. And as you say yes to clarity, as you say yes to spiritual instruction, as you say yes to movement, you are stepping into the blueprint that was written before you ever took your first breath. There's something you need to understand deeply. This isn't just about you. This moment, this activation, is about your bloodline, your children, your children's children, the seeds you will never see with your own eyes. There has been a generational silence, a gap in the timeline, a voice that was supposed to rise but got buried in compromise, in trauma, in spiritual blindness. But now you, yes, you, are being chosen to speak what they could not, to rise where they fell, to break what they could not outrun. You were never just the next one in line. You were the interruption. The one God has raised up to tear down altars built by confusion and fear, and erect a legacy of light, discernment, obedience, and clarity. Your yes today is not weak. It's not a whisper. It is a war cry in the heavenlies. It is the sound of chains breaking in places you've never walked. It is the unlocking of mantles that belong to you. The Father is watching. The Spirit is speaking. The angels are aligning. But heaven will not move where your obedience is absent. And that is why the call today is simple, but sacred. Speak aloud. I receive divine clarity now. Don't just listen. Respond. Don't just wonder. Write. Don't just feel. Act. It's still. Pick up the pen. Start the journal again. Turn off the world and press your ear to heaven's chest. Instructions are coming, but they are not being shouted. They are being whispered, and only the still will hear them. This moment is not for the casual. This moment is for the called, for the awakened, for the ones who are ready to stop rehearsing pain and start receiving promise. Heaven says, your alignment determines how we move next. Not your talent, not your intelligence. Your alignment. That is what commands angelic assistance. That is what activates dormant gifts. That is what unlocks divine partnerships. That is what shifts timelines. This isn't just about remembering who you were. It's about embracing who you were always meant to be. The you that moves in wisdom. The you that speaks in revelation. The you that walks with holy fire and never again entertains what was never meant for you. The you that heaven hath been waiting to arise. Say it. Declare it. Speak it. Write it. Because action opens the floodgates of return. Return of vision. Return of identity. Return of dreams. Return of inheritance. Return of divine favor. Return of clarity. You are not late. You are right on time. But you must act now. Type I receive divine clarity now in the comments if your spirit is ready to walk in alignment. Blessing code 818 is now activating divine instruction over your life. Heavenly negotiations are underway as you read this. Silent. Unseen. Unshakable. There is a holy transaction unfolding in the realm of spirit, and your name, yes, your name, is etched into its very center. Do not mistake this moment as stillness. Do not misread the silence as absence. Right now, even as you breathe, even as your heart beats without you thinking, the spirit realm is in motion, and a soul, one tied to your past, is trading its regret for your peace. This is not poetic metaphor. This is prophetic reality. For there are matters too sacred to be spoken aloud. There are exchanges so delicate, heaven wraps them in silence. And now, as you lean in, as you posture your soul in awareness, something from the past is being handed over, not to pull you backward, but to push you forward. You've cried over what was lost. You've wept over what slipped through your hands. But what you did not know is that heaven was collecting every tear, storing every prayer, and marking every moment that brought you to the edge of surrender. And now, the angels assigned to your life are moving. Not because you begged, not because you performed, but because God has seen the weight you've carried in secret and has decided it's time to lift it. The soul, the one trying to reach you, the one whose presence has stirred your memory, the one whose essence you felt pressing through your dreams, they are not here to reattach. They are here to release. They are here to return what they once unknowingly held, the piece of your peace, the portion of your clarity, the words that should have been spoken but were buried in silence. And now, in a holy act of redemption, heaven is allowing this exchange. Their regret for your restoration, their delay for your direction, their absence for your anointing. It may not happen with fanfare. It may not arrive with a phone call or a text message, but it is happening in spirit, in silence, in divine motion. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit is already responding. A tightening in your chest, that holy stillness wrapping around you like a sudden calm. That is the spiritual confirmation that the trade has begun. Let your soul receive this truth. Something lost is making its way back to you. Not in the form it left, not wrapped in the pain it once caused, but returned through a spiritual filter of grace and clarity. What was once tied to sorrow is now being recycled into wisdom. What was once a source of confusion is now becoming a source of confirmation. You see, heaven wastes nothing. Not a moment. Not a tear. Not a goodbye. Even the exits that hurt the most were part of divine choreography. Even the silence that broke your heart was sacred space that heaven used to deepen your discernment. And now, God is restoring, not just what was taken, but what was hidden. The clarity, the knowing, the closure, the deep sense of inner peace that allows you to move forward without guilt, fear, or regret. That's what's returning now. There are angels standing between you and the soul you're thinking of, not as a barrier but as witnesses. Witnesses to a holy transaction. Witnesses to a prophetic exchange. Witnesses to a moment that was written before time, where two lives, once intertwined by divine purpose, now engage in spiritual release. You both needed this. You both cried for this in different ways. And though your paths may never cross again in the natural, the spirit realm is aligning the release that will bless both of your journeys. And yes, it's okay to feel the weight of it. It's okay to grieve what you never got to say. It's okay to cry, even if you don't know why. Because sometimes the soul weeps before the mind understands what is shifting. And right now, as you sit in this sacred atmosphere, your spirit is responding to something eternal. Heaven is whispering, you are free now. The weight is lifting. The message has been delivered. The exchange has been made. And so you must begin to move differently. Think differently. Worship differently. Because the thing you've been carrying, the ache, the wondering, the energy of unfinished business, it is no longer yours. You don't need to hold it anymore. You don't need to revisit the wound to prove your worth. You don't need to carry their silence like it was your fault. While you cry, angels remember everything. While you mourn what was, heaven is rejoicing over what is becoming. The pain you endured did not go unnoticed. The confusion you felt did not disappear into the void. It reached the ears of God and moved the hand of heaven. And now the shift is here. Do you feel it? That pressure leaving your chest? That unspoken release? It's subtle knowing that something just broke in your favor. Yes, that's the exchange. That's the moment your soul hath been waiting for. The silent transaction that only the Spirit could orchestrate. A soul's release. Your breakthrough. Divine justice moving without a sound. So now, breathe deeper. Walk lighter. Worship louder. For what once haunted you has now honored you. What once held you captive is now blessing you. And what once ended in confusion is now sealing your soul with holy clarity. Type "the exchange is complete" in the comments if your spirit feels this release. Blessing code 3030 is now wrapping your journey in divine peace. What hurt you will now heal others through you. There is a divine reversal in motion. An unseen shift. A holy upheaval that has been triggered, not by anger, not by retaliation, but by justice. Yes, heavenly justice. The kind that doesn't make noise but moves like a storm under the surface, setting wrong things right, restoring what was stolen, and rewriting endings that were marred by injustice and spiritual sabotage. You must understand, beloved, what hurt you was not missed. What broke you was not overlooked. The heavens do not sleep, and the God of angel armies does not turn a blind eye to the cries of his children. You were seen. You were heard. And now, you will be vindicated, not for ego, but for eternal purpose. You were not betrayed in vain. You were not abandoned for nothing. That pain served a purpose, but now, that pain becomes prophecy. And the same soul that once disrupted your peace is the very soul that, through spiritual alignment, triggered the gates of justice to open in your life. This is not about punishment. This is about balance. This is about divine order being restored where confusion once ruled. Heaven is rerouting pain into sacred purpose. Do you hear it? Can you feel the divine wheel turning in your favor? The very experience that once made you question your worth will now become the fire in your voice, the authority in your words, the compassion in your ministry. Because God never lets pain be wasted in the life of his chosen. He multiplies it. He converts it. He sanctifies it. What was once your weakness is now your mantle. You are no longer merely a survivor. You are a vessel. And what you've endured, the silence you sat in, the injustice you bore with dignity, has written a message inside your bones that no demon in hell can erase. You don't just carry memories, you now carry movement. You don't just carry scars, you now carry sentences of liberation for others walking through what you walked out of. And yes, the enemy tried to make you believe that your season of sorrow was eternal, that you had been forgotten, that you had lost time, lost chances, lost favor. But hear me, and hear me clearly. God is the master of time, the redeemer of lost seasons, and the restorer of delayed destinies. What felt like delay was divine development, and what felt like punishment was prophetic preparation. Now, justice moves on your behalf. But justice from God looks different than what the world expects. It doesn't come with public humiliation. It comes with quiet reversal. One morning you will wake up and realize that everything that once weighed you down is now pushing you forward. That the people who once walked away will watch from a distance as heaven lifts you. That the opportunities you thought were lost are now returning with interest. because heaven never subtracts without multiplying. Let me say that again. Heaven never subtracts without multiplying. You lost what you could not keep to make room for what you could not lose. And now the scales are tipping. Your obedience has been measured. Your integrity has been witnessed. Your silence has been documented. And God is saying, enough. Enough delay. Enough injustice. Enough spiritual interference. Now is the time for reversal. Now is the hour where the last becomes first and the wounded become the warriors. This is not just about your healing. This is about your activation into purpose. Everything you've walked through was training ground. The nights you cried. Training. The days you doubted yourself. Training. The moments you were misunderstood and mistreated. All of it. Training. And now heaven is saying, rise. Because the table is being set. The doors are being opened. And the wind that once blew storms against you is now blowing behind you, pushing you into your assignment. And what of the soul that hurt you? The one heaven allowed to echo back into your life this week. They, too, are part of this divine reversal. You don't need to carry bitterness. You don't need to rehearse their failure. Because even now, heaven is working on their heart. Whether they understand it or not, whether they speak it or not, their soul is being stirred. Not just to remember you, but to recognize the weight of what was lost, and what heaven is now restoring in you without them. Do not be surprised if their words carry repentance. Do not be shocked if their presence carries sorrow. But know this, you are not returning to where you came from. You are rising into where you were always meant to be. This is not a loop. This is a launch. Justice moves quietly. Watch the shift this week. Yes, this week. Even before the calendar flips, you will sense the reversal. A burden lifting. A gate opening. A name being removed from your heart. Or perhaps a divine apology being sent your way. Whatever form it takes, know this, heaven has remembered you. You may not have seen it, but the sword of Michael has been cutting through the noise, defending your name in spirit while you remain silent in the natural. Every tear has become testimony. Every ache has become oil. And now you walk forward not wounded, but anointed. The battle is over. The verdict is in. Justice has ruled in your favor. If this message resonates with you and you feel led to support, consider giving a super chat or super sticker. Even a gift of $5 helps us continue sharing prophetic truths that uplift and empower others like you. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating via PayPal using the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Stay connected for prophetic insight, real-time revelation, and divine guidance sent right when you need it most. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments if you receive this reversal. Lesson code 4545 is now accelerating restoration in your life. You are seen, remembered, and realigned today. Yes, you. Not just the you they knew. Not just the you the world recognizes, but the you God formed before the foundations of the earth. The you that heaven has been interceding for in silence. The you whose spirit has walked through shadows but never stopped glowing. The you that angels have watched over in seasons where even you questioned your worth. That you, the divine version of you, is now stepping fully into light. This was not just a message. This was a mirror held up to your soul by the hand of Archangel Michael himself. A mirror that revealed not only the weight of what you carried, but the worth of who you are. There has been confusion. There has been silence. There had been pain that even words could not form. But now, heaven breaks the silence with one decree. You are not haunted. You are honored. That soul from your past, the one whose memory stirred without permission, they didn't come to torment you. They didn't come to tether you to sorrow. They came because heaven allowed it. Because heaven chose this day, June 20th, as a holy activation. Because heaven knew you were ready, not just to hear their message, but to complete the assignment that was born through your connection. And you've done it. You've stood still. You've listened. You've discerned. And now the message has reached you. Let this be your confirmation. You are sealed. You are seen. You are sent. Now rise. There is nothing else to chase. Nothing else to beg for. Nothing else to rehearse. The veil has been lifted. The transaction has been made. The judgment hath been rendered. And now you go forward, not in pieces, but in power. Not in fear, but in full alignment. There is a calm rising in your atmosphere now. A stillness that feels like peace, but is actually spiritual authority. That's what you walked into. You didn't just receive revelation. You've received commissioning. You've been entrusted with understanding that is not common. Your awareness is not random. It is rare. And now, the Holy Spirit charges you. Protect it. Nurture it. Walk in it. You may feel the quiet after this word and wonder if it's over. But the truth is, it's just beginning. Heaven's confirmation does not always come with thunder. It often comes with a stillness so holy that your inner world realigns. That stillness you feel now. It's not emptiness. It's alignment. It's the spiritual echo of God saying, "It is done." From this moment forward, walk differently. Speak differently. Carry yourself as one who had been marked by heaven's hand. No longer unsure. No longer confused. No longer waiting on validation from anyone who couldn't see your worth the first time. Because you've been chosen. Because you've been awakened. Because you've been delivered, not just from pain, but into purpose. And now, the final affirmation from heaven comes through the lips of Archangel Michael himself. The message has reached you. Now walk forward. Walk forward with power. Walk forward with peace. Walk forward knowing the past no longer holds any piece of your present. You are not bound to old chapters. You are not defined by unfinished endings. You are not held hostage by what could have been. You are the answer to a cry someone in your bloodline never got to finish. You are the completion of a story that others couldn't carry. And today, heaven confirms, you carry it now, with strength, with clarity, and with divine fire. To go. Go in peace. Go in strength. Go in joy. Go with your head lifted and your spirit grounded. The assignment is clear. The message has arrived. The shift has occurred. And if at any point your mind tries to revisit the past, just remind yourself, that moment was holy. And now I walk in wholeness. Because this was more than a warning. It was more than a message. It was a spiritual intervention. And now, the angels return to their posts. The veil is sealed. The soul rests. And you are released. Type "I am sealed" in the comments if you receive this closing affirmation. Blessing code 9999 is now finalizing heaven's decree over your life.